Greetings. It appears as though my handler has mutated into his normal form. And my petition to be doing my live stream from Mars was denied. So we're just kind of stuck over here. Been a crazy day, so, you know, still running behind. Hopefully things work out. I think I still need to fix my comment feed, which is not working yet. I need to double check that my title works correctly, and then I think I'll actually be about ready to go here. All right. I think we're good. I think we're good for just a live hangout. I don't have a whole lot to talk about today. Oh, it's just been one of those crazy weeks, and, you know, today was just about as crazy as the rest of it, so, you know, whatever. So we'll just kind of hang out, say hi, greetings, see what's going on, see what I've been working on a little bit, and we'll kind of take it from there. So Political Monkey is first, greetings. Ryan McConkey is second. LJ is third. How's Chicago doing? The Lamer Linux. He's going on out to the concert now. Bummer. Is it louder with Crowder? Farron, how's it going there? Gerhard, how are you? And Mark Day, I say we talk about the Star Wars. Wasn't that good? Well, you know, I didn't watch it. I have no desire to watch it. I'm not going to spend money to watch it. I only watched Rogue One because, you know, my brother's birthday is around the time it was released, and he wanted to see it. It's like, oh, all right, I'll go. I have no interest in seeing anything else in the Star Wars franchise. As far as I'm concerned, Disney milked that cow for everything it's worth. And at this point, they're not doing anything good with the thing. All they're doing at this point is just doing a bunch of things because they know if they keep on doing Star Wars things, some people are just going to be so, buy Star Wars, it's Star Wars, I gotta buy it. Even though it sucks, it's Star Wars and I gotta buy it because I can't have only the part collection. So I didn't see it. I don't intend to see it. I probably will end up seeing it eventually at some point in time, but really not a whole lot more than that. So, but yeah, I guess we can do that. Let's see. Yes, the alien encounter. Farron has officially had over 100,000. That's awesome. Very cool, and congratulations. That might actually be the first distro made by a miner over 100,000 downloads. That rocks. That's really cool. Zyphoid Process, how's it going there? KO2610. Antic Designs, how's it going? Is Tor still anonymous after Operation Bayonet? I have no idea what Operation Bayonet is. Let's go ahead and look up Operation Bayonet. Okay. Usually the people that have been unmasked on Tor has actually been more of their own stupidity than anything else. But let's see. All right, let's go ahead and have a look at Operation Bayonet. Another name for Operation Wrath of God, 1972 covert operation directed by Mahad to assassinate individuals. What? I guess that's not the one we're talking about. Let's go back to the other Operation Bayonet on Dark Web 1. All right, let's see. Multinational law enforcement cooperation culminating in 2017 targeting the Alpha Bay and Husan's dark markets. Many other dark markets were also shut down. Massive blood of criminal dark web activities after global coordination operation. See references in page in Alpha Bay. Let's see if I can find some more information on that. And actually, I mean, all these are things coming out back in July, so yeah, I don't think that there's still much to worry about. The thing is, like, most of these, I mean, there's a few little things that get hurt, odds and ends, and that's just kind of the way things went. Let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit more here. Let me get back. There's a few other things then there. Greetings, Linux 3D Animator. No tinfoil hat stuff. No, if you read the description, I've just had too many things going on this week and today. I've been working on fixing some servers and a computer today, and it's just like, you know what? I don't have time for doing that. So, but I thought everyone would, you know, kind of get a hang out of a hangout. So, nope. Tux Digital is also live. Okay. Let's see. I don't want to talk about Star Wars. I just want to get reactions. My reaction. Don't waste your time. Disney is just milking a cash cow at this point. It's all they want is they want your money. They don't care about a story. They don't care about anything. Fairly new to Linux and love it. Awesome, Leon. How's it going there in the UK? All right, this is the kitty. My handler showed up. He has to be over here making sure I don't do anything bad, you know. All right, I need a mouse pad. All right, so let's go ahead and have a look at the kitty. Get off my keyboard. Kitty's just like, yeah, this is my desk now. Deal with it. All right, let's just go ahead and jump over here. So here's just from the register. This is just responding to questions and comments here, so I've not done any research on any of this. But basically, what they're trying to figure out is how you can crack Tor, because it's just so complicated. It boils down to if you can gain access to the entry node and the exit node and monitor all of the data, track it down to an individual person, you can unmask an IP address. And that's only partially helpful because at least here in the United States, the IP address is not sufficient grounds for a lot. And the reason is it's too easy to spoof IP addresses. And so you'd have to, what the FBI has to do, or law enforcement, whoever it is, has to do, is they actually have to catch the person on the computer at the very point in time, or at the very minimum, isolate the actual computer itself and see if there's any clues as to who might have been on it. So if you look at, of course, Pirate Bay, I think, was the first one was taken down. Is that it? Yeah, Pirate Bay with Dread Pirate Roberts, I guess. No, Silk Road. That's it. Silk Road. When they took down Silk Road on a Tor system, they first identified a few raw logs because there was a small misconfiguration of the site that leaked the real IP. That led them to a server, I want to say it was in Iceland. And from the server, though, they were able to grab some information to identify the computer, which was Frosty. It was an Ubuntu computer. Frosty was the username, and Frosty was the computer name. So it's Frosty at Frosty. Is who they were looking for. And then they still had to figure this out. So the way they actually were able to unmask it and figure out who he was is they actually did basic police work. They got a guy on the inside because the Silk Road had a lot of moderators, and they had a guy working with them long enough that they trusted him to become a moderator. And with the moderator, then he was able to actually do some things to at least unmask where he was at, which was, I want to say it was it San Francisco maybe? They isolated it down, and then they were able to figure out who it was based upon conversations involved in the various matters. And then what they actually did is they figured out where he liked to do his work from, which was all anonymously on public Wi-Fi, usually from a coffee shop. But the guy goes into the coffee shop one day, there's nobody there, so he goes to the library next door, and what the agents did is they had to catch him on the computer while the other guy was actually chatting with him, so they knew who it was, where it was, see his screen, and prevent him from closing the computer lid, which would close and encrypt the computer. So what they did is they staged a fight behind him. He turned around, and another agent came in and grabbed the computer and locked it open so that it didn't freeze out. That's how they took him down. Classic police work. And that's really what it boils down to. Now, with Tor, as long as you're on the internet, you shouldn't be doing anything illegal because there's still ways to mask you. But usually how they're tracking down the people on Tor is you're either A, using the Tor bundle, which is not a very good way to get on Tor because there's a lot of DNS leakage out of the thing, or B, you open up a file that moves outside of the Tor system and exposes your computer that way. That's what was the big deal about that recent Tor issue that they had patched, but it basically prevented the whenever you downloaded or accessed a file using the file protocol in the browser, it would bypass the Tor network and go through ClearNet. That's usually how they would track people down. And so, you know, this was, and I'm not familiar with this particular thing, but basically they got some collaboration, and I'm not sure exactly what they did there, but you know, at the same time, you know, don't do stupid illegal stuff, and it shouldn't be a big deal. But for the most part, I use Tor to anonymize my information from businesses. I don't need businesses to know what I'm looking at on the internet so they can continue to spam me for the next all eternity with advertisements. So that's why I use the Tor network. And so that's the type of stuff that I do. All right. Do you mind if I wear the tinfoil hat? No, go ahead. And if I had a few more minutes, like I was late coming in because it's like 4:30 and I realized I needed to go get milk and the farm is only up until 6. And so I decided to run out, grab some milk, and then I came back and had 5 minutes to get everything turned on. So that's kind of what happened there. Disney is eating everything up. Yes, they are. They just gobbled up a big old chunk of Fox. Greetings, Spider Eyes. Disney is getting too much power. Now they have 20th Century Fox, Marvel, X-Men, and don't forget Star Wars. Don't forget Star Wars. Yep. So that's kind of that. Let's see. I'm just gonna do. If there's anything else anyone wants to chat about, go ahead and chat and let us know, and then we'll just kind of take some topics as we go. Otherwise, I'll tell you what I've been up to here eventually. Which makes all alien offspring Disney princesses. Yep. And my Linux Mint install has been really screwed today. Had to treat it like Windows and power. Really? That's interesting. This guy is scary intelligent. F Disney. Political Monkey. Please avoid the F-bombs if you don't mind. Okay. Document scanner software is tough on Linux. It depends on your scanner, actually. I have a Brother printer here that has... one second. Where's that at? I have a Brother printer here that to get the scanner to work, I would have to install the proprietary drivers. I don't really mind doing that, and I'll do it eventually, but I have an Epson printer here with a scanner that... Every distro here works perfectly fine with a scanner with no anything. I just have to say, yep, install it, and it's good to go. So it really depends on the hardware, how new it is, how old it is, what the brand is, and things like that. So my Epson scanner works perfect. Brother scanner, it doesn't. I mean, I could get it to work, but I don't, why bother? I have the Epson right now. If the Epson breaks, I'll take the time to get the Brother scanner working. So. Making portal COD with the gravity gun. All right. Hey, just a random question. Are pit bulls aggressive? Pit bulls, they are, they can be aggressive. If they're left untrained, they can be more aggressive than other dogs. But a pit bull that is well trained is generally not much more aggressive than any other dogs. They're kind of more noted for the fact that they won't let go if they bite. They simply will not let go. You kind of got to kill it to let go. Get it to let go. So that's kind of what's up with the pit bulls. But no, overall, they're not. It depends on the owner, really. Thank you for all the vids you share with us. Good to see you live also. Well, thank you, William. Yeah, I try and do a live Saturday pretty much every day I can. Like I said, if you're joining in, this is just kind of random discussion. I am actually working on a Nextcloud install. I can show you a little bit about what I got going on with that here in a bit. So let's see, earliest, let's see, Star Wars, very easy to forget now. Yeah, I forgot. Who were we talking about? Earliest references to Silk Road Online was DPR shilling it out. Yes, that was actually one of the circumstantial evidences they got. That's how actually they got his name of Frosty, and they were able to tie it back to him. Basically, it was just self-promotion. Hey, anyone hear of this website? And, of course, it was him doing a promotion across his site. That one he registered with his real name. Yeah. Do you think I'll review Red Hat? Probably not. Red Hat and Fedora are very similar. Really, the difference is Red Hat has some more enterprise application, and it has basically paid support contract is kind of what separates Red Hat out from Fedora. So Fedora and Red Hat are close enough to be close. That's kind of what I'd say about that. So probably wouldn't do a review of Red Hat, honestly. Is AES the best encryption cipher? I don't know as much about encryption stuff, but I think AES, I thought AES was an older one. I can't remember though. So I don't take my word on the best encryption. Didn't watch your GNOME Solus video yet. More about GNOME's deficiencies or Solus. Actually, Joe, I had more problems with Solus than GNOME. I know I don't like GNOME. So I wasn't going to let the fact I don't like GNOME interfere or bias my position because I know I don't like GNOME. So I did, what I do if I'm forced to run GNOME. I installed extensions. I made it my own. GNOME gave me no problems above the normal basal amount of GNOME activity. It was actually problems with Solus. That's why I had abandoned it so quick. And of course, I'm rocking Debian right now over here, and I'm doing that simply because I needed to use Skype, and for some reason, Microsoft decided to break Skype on my Linux Mint install, so I went back to Debian because Skype still works over there. So that's that. Any plans on doing a show about Libroot or Coreboot? Didn't even know about those, so maybe I'll have to consider it. Sounds exciting. Found this channel a few days ago. Love it. I'm a software geek as well. Awesome. Well, thank you and welcome. Agree with your view on pit bulls. I've owned 3 so far. Yeah, it boils down to the owner. I think cats have their own personalities, like this lazy one right here. Yeah. He's like, leave me alone. I'm trying to rest. Pit bulls just mauled their owners to death in Virginia. 20-year-old something woman will walk in them. Ooh, that's not good. Greetings, Zoomped 1975. Solus should have KDE Plasma available. Budgie is kind of too simple. I really like Budgie. In fact, before I have release my final absolute opinion on Solus, I will be using Budgie. I ran Manjaro Budgie, and that was one of the best systems I've run in a long time. I mean, I like doing, here's the things I like about it, here's the things I don't like about it. I couldn't find anything I didn't like about it. I mean, Manjaro Budgie was awesome. In fact, I wish I would have taken a backup of that before I overwrite the drive because it was a really good distro. So I do want to do Solus Budgie, being as that Solus made the Budgie project. So I kind of want to see that. Nice about Nextcloud. Was curious about that. Yeah, it's well, I'll tell you about Nextcloud in a bit. We'll get there when I run out of comments. I'll do that. Electronic question: have you ever worked with solar or thought about power walls? I only have a cursory working with solar. I do plan on doing quite a bit more with solar down the road. It's getting better. When I first explored solar, the break-even point for getting solar in your house for just a small single-use application was like a 50-year break-even point. Wasn't worth it. That was quite a while ago. Since those times, solar has really gained more efficiency and dropped in cost that it's now a very viable option. And so that's kind of that. So I don't have a lot of experience with it, but that's kind of, it's something I would like to do. If I had my own house still, I don't have a house anymore. I do apartments these days. But if I had a house still, I'd probably look into it a whole lot more seriously than I do right now. Red Hat is Enterprise. Yep. Red Hat Enterprise Linux, in fact, is what it stands for. Have you ever done much with single board PCs like Raspberry Pi? Yes, I have a Raspberry Pi that is a VPN, a Raspberry Pi, or a RetroPie, a Kodi install, and a few other odds and ends I've done with them. So yes, Raspberry Pis are awesome. I have one. I need to get more of them. I really do need to get more Raspberry Pis. I'd like to have enough to trade them around a little bit more. But yeah, I've done a lot of cool things with Raspberry Pis. They're pretty fun. Is it okay to use pCloud? I don't know much about pCloud. Actually, I don't know anything about pCloud. Let's look pCloud up. Why don't we look that one up? See if there's anything interesting to chat about on pCloud. pCloud, file security made simple with a very annoying pop-up. Access, save your files in pCloud, have them on your laptop, phone, or on the web. Share, collaborate. Okay, so it looks to me, and I could be wrong about this, but it kind of looks to me like it's another commercial option. Is it a commercial or? Maybe they have a cheap tier and a premium tier. Premium lifetime, basically gives you 500 gigs of storage. It looks to me kind of like a Dropbox type alternative, basically like another commercial option like Nextcloud and OwnCloud, things like that. That's my guess, just based on what I'm looking at here on their website. Let me go ahead and show you their website. That'd be fun to do, right? So here's their website. So apparently, let's see, you can download it. Of course, it's kind of confusing to me. Let's see, if use your files in cloud, they're saving a local hard disk without taking up any space. CLI. Testimonials. See, when I first went to their main site, let me go to their main page again. When I first went there, it was 50% off a bundle and sign up and get 20 gigabytes free storage. So maybe you get 20 gig free and then you can do the paid, the premium for more space, maybe more space and more features. So yeah, it just looks like another Dropbox or Nextcloud type system. So yeah, I'm interested in building my own systems like that, like Nextcloud, because again, the problem with all this stuff is, do you control the data on those servers? Well, if you're renting like a cPanel or something like that, you have more control over that data than you do if you're just licensing out to a company like this or Google or Microsoft or whatever else. But when you're starting to actually use these services, now you have to ask, can they see the data or not? Some of these services, it delivers encrypted, but it doesn't store encrypted. Nextcloud delivers and stores encrypted, so that's a neat function of that. So other than that, though, I don't know much more about it. Red Hat stock is doing pretty well. Hey, Narus, how's it going there? Gonna RR my PC because taskbar does not hide in the full screen again. Huh. Ah. You ever watch talks at DEF CON conference? Yes, every now and again. I watch some of those. I watch, TED Talks. I watch a variety of things. Just a whole lot of different variety just to get out there and just kind of get different viewpoints, different opinions. I see we have like a lot of folks on. We have 53 people on the stream right now. So just in case you're new to the stream, this is a little bit unusual. I've just had a crazy day, so I usually do a tinfoil hat time. Today we're just kind of taking random talks. I'm just going to go off on a tangent on anything you guys want to chat about. So just leave everything in the comments there that you want to see, and that is that. A little unusual today, but it should be very interesting though, regardless. And I will eventually get into some Nextcloud today too. So. Nextcloud would be interesting. I've been thinking of doing one too on a rented server. Family could use it for photos and stuff. Open source BIOS. Okay, cats are TJ and CJ. Yes. The one that's sitting right here is CJ. Hello. And TJ. Okay, the cats are like shedding like crazy. TJ is floating around here somewhere. Greetings, James Miller. James, did you see the pfSense build? I'm curious if you might like to see that or not. I will eventually also get an access wireless point. I'm just using the basic BGN card that came with it. Of course, it's a BG card because pfSense does not support drivers for N, at least on the USB sticks that I know of, and certainly not these cheap Chinese ones. Had to track down what the thing was that they shipped with me with by using the MAC address. That's what I did. Is BSD better than Linux? I don't know much about BSD. I mean, my only experience is building a pfSense router. What I can see, though, is Linux is still easier to use, to my understanding, that you have more options for installing a desktop environment out of the box. BSD, I believe most of them, there's of course exceptions. There's a lot better BSDs coming out. Some of the drivers are not up to date, as up to date as they are in Linux, so that's something to keep in mind. But as far as which one's better, I don't know because I don't use BSD a lot. Yeah, Manjaro Budgie would be a good daily build. That'd be kind of neat. Okay. So wondering if Windows 10 version for the Pi has all the ads and security. Probably. I don't know. It's Windows 10, so it's automatically suspect. Use Manjaro, but for beginning, Mint and Ubuntu Mate is the distro to go for. Yeah, I didn't have any problems on Manjaro, though, either. I put Manjaro on my list of recommendeds because it did not give me any problems. But yeah, I do still prefer Mint. That's still my distro of choice. Should do Dealio on Proton Mail. What's a Dealio? Is that just a talk? I've lost track of words. What's the dealio? Yeah, I don't know. What's the deal? I don't know. Anyway, could I talk about Proton Mail? Probably. I did actually create a Proton Mail to test it the other day, and yeah, it's actually pretty good. I kind of liked what I saw there. My Debian computer is trying to shut down on me. All right. Proton Mail is the crap. I use it and pay for it because I want it around. Yep. I've been a corporate Linux sysadmin since 2009 using Red Hat, but prefer Manjaro and Antergos for personal use. Linux is good, very easy to step. Sent Red Hat for enterprise, but Archer variants for personal. How much Linux-based sysadmin work do you think there is out there? I think that there's enough out there that that it's certainly is a viable thing to get into. Just because with all of these people, the reason I say that is all of these people doing all of these cloud server things, somebody needs to do a sysadmin on these things. So that's kind of what that looks like. So if you're looking for a good future career, I think that would be the way to go. It's true that Windows 10 has Open SSH baked in now. Yes, they just released it like 2 weeks ago. I don't know anything else about it other than it exists. You no longer have to install PuTTY. They probably did it because Windows 10s doesn't have PuTTY, and I don't think they're going to bother with a Windows 10 app. So I think they had to get that, or they'd lose a lot of the crowd that needed PuTTY. That's my personal take, wearing my hat for a bit. Nextcloud with Ubuntu server setup. Talking about Nextcloud, can you show us how newbies to install LAMP and secure/harden, or do you have a video about LAMP? I don't have a video about that just because it takes a long time to get a production LAMP system working. Takes a long time. Like, I can spin them up really fast for just testing purposes, but it's nothing I'd want to deploy because you want to enable security mods, you want to enable DDoS and DOS attacks, preventions, and just a ton of other tiny little things. And on top of that, building an FTP server. I find the hardest thing on building a LAMP stack is a stupid FTP server. They just do not like to cooperate. So I don't actually have one of those. Maybe it's something I can work on down the road, but being as at how long it takes to do and all of the other odds and ends that go into it, it's not one I'm likely to do sometime soon just because I just don't have that kind of time. But I will tell you how I built LAMP stack with the cheater method, Nextcloud with the cheater method, because it took me like 10 minutes. And it was working great. A lot of moving cloud-based, but not a lot of work available. Unfortunately, a lot of people are just outsourcing that stuff to third parties, and that's why their AWS buckets keep on ending up on the darknet. Whoops. Duplicati is nice open source encryption solution for cloud. Do you think if we send Agent Pi a bunch of rubber dildos, he might get the FCC to go FCC himself? Probably not. But I think it was Barnacles actually had the ability that you could go on there, and he had a link that you could go to this store and get gummy dildos sent to somebody. So if you're looking to do that, go check out Barnacles. What's the best way to send a large file to someone without needing the in-between server? Actually, Mozilla has a service to do that now. I forget what the service is called. But Mozilla has a single service. It's like a very encrypted single access system. So you upload the big file, you send them the access code, they download the file, and the file self-destructs. And so that is certainly one option that you have. BSD has practically died, sadly, even on servers. I don't know, there's a lot more desktop BSD distros coming out these days, though. Linux Mint XFCE and Jude final release came out. It's a shame Mint won't be working on KDE anymore. Yeah. I like KDE and I like Mint, so I know obviously I have one of those builds, but oh well. Oh well. Random question, what was my first computer? My first real computer or my first computer like quasi-computer-ish? I had a 386 with a green screen and you know 5 1/4 floppy disks. I had one of them. That was kind of exciting, and you know, I actually had a Windows 3.1 compact laptop. Had that bad boy in college. Rocking it. It was awesome. In fact, I even had some type of virtualization emulator on there too of some form. I can't remember all the details, but yeah, so I had that. And then I mean, back in the day, I mean, there were very, very few pre-made computer systems. So you end up, and that's why you hear people talk about, oh, I had a 386, not I had a Dell Inspiron, whatever. You know, it's because those didn't exist. So what you would do back then is you would save up a ton of cash. My first computer that was like a first real computer, I paid about $2,000 for it. You go into probably a shady store, you pay them a 50% down payment, they build the thing, order all the parts, build it for you, you go and you pick it up. So that thing was a beast, man. That thing had a hard drive so big that guy said, you will never fill that hard drive. It had a 1.6 gigabyte hard drive. That was massive. That thing rip-roared 32 awesome megabytes of RAM, and that is mega, not giga, megabytes of RAM, 32. And I had the fastest, the NVCD drive. I had a 12X CD drive on that thing. Rocked Windows 95. Had a 33.6 modem. Eat your heart out. Eat your heart out. Thing actually was capable of 32 kilobyte, what was it, 32 whatever color. Basically gave me true color. 32-bit true color, that's what it was. Prior to that, I started that thing up on 256K. I figured out that there was an update to my video card, and that gave me awesomeness. And then I had a Sound Blaster. I had a genuine Sound Blaster sound card in that thing. Best sound card I actually had in a computer. Sound got bad after that. But oh man, I had so many fun times with that thing. And then I eventually invested in one of the very first ever DVD cards. You had to get a card and a special drive. It was like a $300-400 package. It was awesome. So that was kind of my first computer. It was like $2,000. And then I actually invested in a Windows 98 laptop that cost me $1,200 from a Staples. Or was it an Office Mac? I forget what it was. But that was an awesome computer. Had that for a few years. It was pretty nice. That was kind of my college computer. Greetings. Random question. UEFI and 2 hard drives. Do you need to do a boot partition on each hard drive? I always do. And the reason I do is I never like one hard drive controlling multiple different boots, because if you don't have a boot sector for each operating system on each hard drive, then one disk crash and then you just have a pain to try and get the other operating system back. So the way my strategy is, I actually always install every operating system onto its own drive with its own boot, and then I use the BIOS to select which one I'm going to boot into. Most computers, either an F12 or an F9, will bring up the boot menu when you first turn on the computer, and then you tell it which hard drive to boot off of, and then it will grab the bootloader from that drive. That's what I do. You can install multiple different systems. Like you can install, like for example, this computer here that's running Debian that you can't see because my comments are in the way. There's actually 2 hard drives in that computer. One's a Windows 8 hard drive, one's a Linux Mint hard drive, and Debian's actually running on a thumb drive. So the way this system boots, my Linux Mint hard drive can boot any of the operating systems on the computer. So I could, in theory, set that as the default and then select what I want to run. I don't. So that's what I always choose to do. And then fix any of the UEFI stuff if anything goes goofy. Just beamit.com would work for your needs. Okay. Did see the PFSense job. Good job bridging those NICs. At what point I'm just using one for the WAN and one for the LAN. Pretty awesome to set up the host file in there. Yeah, the host file is the thing that took me the longest. But it's all working, and I have like 8 or so connections onto it because it goes I have 3 outputs on the pfSense router. One of them goes to the printer, which eventually I'm going to arrange those cables around. One of them goes to my NAS, so the NAS is always online. And then the other one goes over to the switch, and then the switch will manage all of the computers. And so that way everything works great. And I can gladly report that the Warcraft pass-through is actually working. I was able to test that last night, so I can do a mean game of Warcraft 3 on there. If you still have Warcraft 3 and you want to play some Warcraft 3, let me know. We'll connect together over there on Warcraft, and we'll play some games. I'll show you some of the geeky programming stuff I used to do with characters. If you like Magic the Gathering, you know what a Sing Your Vampire is? I built one. Set up OpenVPN on there too. Phone works great on the Android phone. Okay. LAMP can be done quickly if you don't care about security. Yeah, that's the problem though, Joe. You can do it quickly if you don't care about security, but if it's production, you want to care about security. I recently started learning C code, wondering, can I learn C++ at the same time? I think they're similar. I've done C++. I've not done C, but I believe C is just a more basic C++. If there's any programmers that can tell me otherwise. Where's Carbon Programmer? He does C++. He could tell you better. Any thoughts about WireGuard for VPN? No, I don't. I am actually experimenting with Pure VPN right now. They've asked me if I want to, create an affiliate account with them and promote their stuff. And so I'm exploring it right now with Pure VPN. I like what I see with Pure VPN. I don't know much about WireGuard though, so... Check with Level 1 Text. They have 3 different VPNs they recommend. They would be able to tell you if it's on their list. Had a 286 with DOS 3.11. Sweet. UEFI needs FAT32. I know what you're doing, Kitty. You're trying to sneak... The kitty's over here trying to sneak closer to the Temptations, and it's not going to happen. No. Does CompUSA still exist? I have no idea. Let's go and look that up. CompUSA. All right, CompUSA. What is new at CompUSA? Well, they're selling stuff. Does that count? They're selling, they're selling Google Home. Spyware. Libre boot needs to become modern like Linux has become. We need GUIs to replace UEFI when it becomes possible. Yeah. Does anyone remember VESA slots? VESA slots on 486 motherboard. No. I might recognize it if I see it, but no, I don't remember that one. Radio Shack color computer on CompuServe. Nice. Canal and the basis of all coding are the same, just the language that's different. Remember the Sound Blaster card? Those were the times. Yep. Speaking of the old days, how about iOmega zip drives? Dude, I was the geekiest geek in college. I had my CDs spread across zip drives. I could pop in a zip drive, and that thing had like 6 different music albums on it because I ripped all my CDs, which took hours, by the way. Nowadays, you can rip a whole CD, and it takes like 10 minutes, maybe. Back then, it took like 4 hours to rip a single CD. So I was like ripping the CDs, and then you had to run. There was no way to rip the CD and then tag it. I think we got, what's the program that came out that allowed you to actually do it? It was a huge deal. It was Audio Grabber. First came out the first time ever you could rip a CD and tag the MP3s at the same time. You used to have to rip the MP3s, boot into a command DOS prompt, and use a DOS-based IDE tagger to put your IDE tags on your MP3s. That was a pain. And then, of course, we rocked Winamp, of course. So, yep, zip drives. Those were the good old days. Dual boot Windows 10 and Endless OS. All right, CGA. A CGA card. No, I'd have to look up CGA. Had a Radio Shack color computer early 1980s. Then a Radio Shack Model 4A portable. Nice. Zip drives were the bomb. 100. Remember the 256? Oh. Our lab computers were awesome because they had zip drives, internal zip drives. Awesome. Of course, my zip drive died a week before my comprehensive exams. That sucked. That's the first. I bought my first ever USB drive after that. It was 128 megabyte purple USB drive. Well, if you want to do Red Hat, what about CentOS? I use CentOS on a lot of my servers, of course. Yeah. James Miller, I'd have to use a parallel one, take it to my university labs and download everything, get onto it, and then get into the BIOS to get decent speed. Yep, you need a zip drive for Napster. I actually never used Napster. The cat's shedding hair everywhere. It's like I'm not allergic to cats, but there's literally hair stuck to my face because of this shedding creature. It's like, look at that. That's just on my desk. So portable zip drives with disks. Nice. Found a nasty trick to reset the BIOS passwords. Damp tissue paper. Greetings, Red Falcon Run. Tim, I was looking for you today. I hope you don't mind, I'm going to co-op a little bit of your AWS server space today, I think, or tomorrow or Monday or something. I'm experimenting with something. If it works, I'm going to buy my own, but I'm going to steal some of your server space. Let me know if it costs you money. Damp tissue paper. Use that at work. My first computer times, Spectrum, mentioned WireGuard, VPN, James Miller, just had to be done. Also wore Hawaiian shirts. Yes, I used to wear Hawaiian shirts. I still have a couple of them. Did I miss too much? Yeah, you're about 40 minutes into it, but I'm really talking about random stuff. So, what do you think about dipping tobacco and nasal stuff? Not into it. Random question, PCs aside, did you have a favorite video game console? NES probably, just because I don't play video games. The only games I still like to play are old Nintendo games, hence RetroPie. I miss my kitten, he ran away. Aw, I'm sorry. Alright, well, I reached the bottom of the comments. Let's go ahead and talk about Nextcloud, because I know that some people are really curious about that. I'm going to be cautious on what I show you because I'm actually using my production Nextcloud here. But first, let's go ahead and jump over onto their website. So if you're not familiar with Nextcloud, kind of like a Dropbox, but you can add some functionality into it and basically make it kind of like a whole Google suite all alone. So basically, you come over here, and if you want to download... Let me see if I can get this guy bigger. I want to... give me a second. Let me come back to the website-y stuff and see if I can... Oh, come on. Huh. My window froze on this. I have no idea why or how. That's interesting. Let me go ahead and give me a second. I gotta get my website window back. It seemed to have goofed up on me there. Hey, there we are. There we go. All right. So with Nextcloud, if you have access now, where I actually deployed this on a cPanel. And the reason I deployed it on a cPanel is I want to give not only myself, but I want to give some friends of mine that I'm collaborating on some projects with some of this space. And so to install this on a cPanel is wicked easy. You just come down here and to download, and then you can grab your download. Now, click your, is it this one? Nope, not that one. That's not what I wanted to do. Come down here, you have your archive file. This is the thing that kind of goofed me up. We have an archive file, we have a web installer for shared hosts, and we have appliances for easy deployment. So what I did is you literally come here, you grab this one PHP file called Setup Nextcloud. Literally, let's just go ahead and open it. So this is the PHP file. So grab this PHP file, simply set that on your server, create a database username and password on cPanel, run the script, and it takes 5 minutes, and it's set up. Done. Problem. Big problem. You cannot run the, to run the Google type suites, you either have to run the Collabora online or the Only Office online. Those are the only two suites that allows you to use online. And so with those suites running, you can't run them on a cPanel. There's dependencies that aren't there. There's no way to install them, and so I have to look for a third party. I wanted to try and install it locally here. I could not get it going on the NAS, and so I ended up having to say, yeah, whatever. So I'm going to steal some Red Falcon Run AWS server space and test it over there. And if that works, then I will have the full ability to run like a Google Stocks type deployment on this system, and I'll update you on that. So what this looks like here is you come over here and basically this guy is you get a panel sort of like a Dropbox, really. You can come down here. There's a variety of users that you can get in here, and you have a series of folders and files, and you can download the app. Now the cool thing is, since they're an open source group, you actually can download the app, and I gotta find it now. Okay, so now I can do it on the app. So on my Android phone, I can actually do all of my manipulation. I can download the documents, open things up over here. Now the challenge is I'm going to cause an error. If I click on the file here, it's going to give me an error. And the reason we get that error is because we do not have a Calibra service set up. I have enabled the plugin, and I just needed to keep that plugin set up there just so that I can get the thing working. But it allows me to come down here and create a new document, new spreadsheet, or new presentation within the system. Of course, I can come over here and I can share the file with anybody. I can share it by a link, which basically means I can actually set this up like Dropbox. I can drop a file up here for somebody. I can share the link, and I can even set an expiration date. So if I let's see, versions. I can set expiration dates. I think I disabled it in the admin panel. But then I can email that file to somebody. They can download it, but after the expiration date, the whole file will just blow up on my server. Or at least it'll become not shareable anymore. So I also have plugins here as gallery. I deleted the sample pictures, but this would be galleries. The activity feed is just what the activities are. This is, of course, your files. I have email. I'm not going to click on this, but basically this gives me a full web access email panel here, which you can log into any email server. Of course, it has to be an IMAP type connection. And I also put this up to include a music sharing app, deck, stat, tasks. So all this stuff, I'm building this out because I'm working on a collaboration project with somebody, and so I want to have all of our files up here and have the ability to share files back and forth without having to go ahead and use Google services. So that's my final end goal of this. And so that's kind of what we're doing. There's an admin panel. Let me go ahead and I'm going to come back to the comments here, and then we'll jump into the admin panel. I just want to log out of here, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, see if I can remember the password without looking it up. I think that's it. Okay, let's try again. Is that it? Yay, that's it. Good deal. Let's verify there's nothing identifiable on there. Let's see. What are my thoughts on drugs? Thank you, Political Monkey, by the way. What are your thoughts on drugs? Should they be banned? Should they be legal? Should drugs be treated as medical or criminal issues for users? Wow! Talk about opening a can of worms right in the middle of Nextcloud. Okay, my thoughts. I am not, one of the reasons I'm not a pure libertarian is I think that there should be some rules and laws against things. I think things like, in general, I think that drugs for recreational use, any drug that has any potential long-term consequence should probably have some laws against it. I am in no way against drugs for medical use, so long as there is a lot of safety protocols in place, like unlike fentanyl. So I'm not a huge, like, I'm kind of a guy, I want to say I have seen what drugs can do to society. And so I'd probably rather they not be there. The unfortunate danger is the flip side of the coin is that when drugs are pulled out of society, they still get into society oftentimes worse. And so we are stuck between a rock and a hard place. And that really is part of the challenge, is what the problems happen to be. So should they be legal? I think there's a lot of drugs that have no business being legal, and a lot of drugs have no business being even medically used. I think there's some drugs, like, I'm not for legalizing marijuana for recreational use. I think that there are too many potential long-term issues, and I'm not talking it's going to kill you. I'm talking other potential long-term issues. But I think it should be perfectly legal as a medical drug. It should not be have problems there. If given horrible crime or legalizing it, I'd probably say let's go ahead and legalize it. Should drugs be treated as a medical or criminal issues for users? I think that really depends. The problem is you get a situation like the fentanyl outbreak and a lot of heroin and opioid outbreaks. These people get addicted to it because doctors give them addictive drugs. And that's a problem. The doctor basically got them addicted to drugs. And then the doctor prescription goes away. They can't get off of it. And so they turn to heroin. So if you're taking an individual user and that's their story, it's definitely a medical issue. If you flip the coin around and a guy's intentionally doing a lot of bad things, we have a harder case. I don't think, maybe we need a third option. I don't think that it's a slap on the wrist and go to rehab, but I don't think it's send you to hardcore crime either. I think somewhere in between. I think we need to figure out a way to get a person addicted to drugs off of drugs. So I don't think sending them all to prison is necessarily the answer. But we also have to have a lot of individual and personal responsibility. It's a complicated issue. It's such a complicated issue. So hopefully that's a good enough answer. And it's not being evasive. It's just that there's so much on the line. In general, I think drugs do worse things to society than not doing drugs. And so you do have a legal barrier. If they are illegal, you are going to keep a good percentage of people off of them versus if they are legal. And that's why I hold to that. But I don't think that anybody suffering from any medical condition should be denied any type of treatment that they want as long as there is any amount of demonstration that it could be useful. So that's what I think about that. Nextcloud devs are serious about open sourcing everything. Yes. What's the name of the video talked about that the girl wrote the welcome? What's the name of the video? I think it was called The City of the Future. Give me a second. Let me find it. Okay, it was called The Future Smart City. It was tinfoil hat time 46. If you'd like a link, let me know and I'll track it down for you. Okay. Baby girl is going off. Uh-oh. Appreciate the info. You want the video. Yeah, I forget what the original was. Someone asked earlier about snuff. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think the article is one of the creepiest things I've read in a long time. She's very happy about the idea. Yeah. Hello, Jan Lopez. Thoughts on IP security cameras? Are they spying on us? They very well could be. My IP security cameras, you see one in the corner back there, they are only online when I want them to be online, and they are not available on the network. You have to access them. You have to come into the VPN first. So you can only access them on a local network. Actually, how I have them set up is they reroute all the traffic in a one-way direction up to a file server on a cPanel somewhere. So that's kind of what I do. All right, let's go ahead and jump back over. Here is the administrative panel. Of course, you kind of see the top is a little bit cut off. I'm cutting off my address stuff. So inside of this, of course, we have notification bar. I'm gonna get rid of this and click on the email real quick. I don't think this one's set up. If this email, yeah, good. This email's not set up. Let me clear that out. All right, so basically when you click on the email button, by default, unless you have configured this, and I think you can only do one email. I don't know for sure. But you just come up here, put your name, put your primary mail address, put your password, come down here to your manual configuration. You want to enter in your host information. Of course, this does need to be an IMAP, so you enter in your incoming, outgoing mail servers. These are defaulted to the usuals. Hit connect, and this thing actually works awesome. So this is a great platform. And actually, you know what? I don't know. Let me see if I can access the email through the app. I don't know that. I've not explored the app a whole lot. It looks like all I have here is just a grid view. Let's see. Okay, so you can right click, you can see activities. Favorites, photos shared on device. Okay, so that's the things that are on my device, which I can share up to my cloud easily. Notifications, what's auto upload? Okay, so that'll kind of set auto upload systems here settings. So it looks like I cannot actually access my email directly from the app on the phone, but you can do it, of course, from the desktop here. And so that's kind of how that works. Of course, the audio player, this is where I have music. Let me actually, I'm going to test something real quick here. I'm going to go into on device. And looks like I cannot, at least I can't push up, let's see, photos. Just trying to see what the limit of the app is here. So anyway, I have this set up so you can actually install music clips and things and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things like that. Which one's this one? Oh, I think this is for a note-taking thing, or that might give me an error. I'm not sure. Okay, yep, so this is for notes. So if I want to leave myself some notes, oh, right here. This is a new note. We can go ahead and do that. So that's kind of notes. Oh, here's the gallery, by the way. I've not cleared the default pictures out of this. So here we actually have the ability to change my view between kind of a list view and a grid view. So just here's kind of what the photos look like. So I can pull up various photos. These are just the default photos that came pre-installed with the thing. And of course I have a dashboard over here as well. Let's see. Yep. So that's kind of how this system works. This thing's not. Let me see photos. Let me see. So that's Nextcloud there. I'm just trying to see if I can send a music file up to my cloud. Let me see videos, images, recents. Let's go there. Music. All right, so I just sent a music file up to the cloud. So let's see if that gives, well, that goes. We'll give that a minute. All right, so at least you have, okay, so Nextcloud is a ethical cloud service. I think it's an ethical cloud service. They're completely dedicated to open source. It's end to end. I haven't went back onto my system. Every file that's up here is encrypted. So it's a complete end-to-end encryption, and the files are stored encrypted. So if somebody hacks into my server, all they can get is the encrypted files. So I can't, they can't get that. And it seems pretty good to me. And of course, this is deployed on my own cPanel that I control. So, I have a lot more control over this than if I were to give up, Dropbox or Google or whatever else. All right. Yeah, would Stallman approve? Is it end-to-end? Because if you change your password on Proton Mail, you lose your emails. Huh, I didn't know that. That's not cool. Nextcloud improves every time they make their service. Yep. Yeah, it is end-to-end encryption. Let's see. If they don't have access to your emails, I argue that's the most secure way to do it. Never used it for email. And if you're familiar with OwnCloud, Nextcloud is actually a derivative of OwnCloud. Of course, OwnCloud actually has some proprietary code in it, and that's kind of why some people were wanting to create something else. Actually, there's something else over here I was going to log out, but if you come in here under your administrator panel, you can add users. The apps, though, I found these really fascinating, how many various apps there are. So this is what all you can do with your thing. So just kind of going through the smaller end. Ebook reader, which I'll have to throw some ebooks up here and see how that works. So basically, activities for shared download files, checksum checkers, files for mail, metadata. Hold on, Kitty wants me to move the alien. Come here, Roger. All right. The kitty was like, there's an alien in my spot. No games. Integration. Here's Calibra Online, external sites, GitHub Merge Tracker, OnlyOffice, Zimbrew Drive. Here's monitoring systems. So, of course, you can turn some of these on, turn some of these off. Audio player, music sharing, talk app. Ooh, I'll have to look at the talk application. Let's see. Audio and video conferencing. Ooh, that might look neat. I have to experiment with that. Phone sync. Let's see what the phone sync is. Okay, so this syncs an app to sync your SMS with your cloud. Okay. Phone tracker, radio. So office and text. There's a lot of different tasks on here. So you can basically install a whole lot. You can isolate different apps to different groups or different people. So there's a whole lot of different things like that you can do on it. So that's kind of that. Let's see. They don't have access to your email. Let's see. Never use it for email. It's client-side encryption for files. Greetings, Matthew. Yeah, to my knowledge, Nextcloud is end-to-end. All right, I'm going to log out. I'm going to log back into my user. I'm going to see if the see if that music file uploaded. This is kind of I'm still testing stuff out. Hey, it did. Look at that. Now I want to see if I go to audio player, if it detects music. Okay, so I uploaded Pompeii from Bastille was on my phone, so I uploaded that. I want to see what I can do with that. So there's the delete button. I can download it to this computer. What I'm trying to see is if it detects that as music or if I can get it into the music thing. Okay, so it does detect that it's in here. So it's right there. So I'm guessing if I push play on that, it will load up the music player and play. And it is playing. I can hear it. So there's that. Let me see the audio player. So the audio player here is actually telling me that it doesn't see anything new. So I'd have to look into that. Let's see. Add tracks to your library. Start scanning. It found one audio file. So let's look at artists. Bastille. So there we go. So now I'm actually... So let's see if that plays. This one's not actually playing. Oh, okay, there it goes. Okay. So basically what that means is that if you set this up on your own system, you can put your own files in your cloud and then you can stream them from any computer that you're on. So that's kind of the take-home message from that one. So that's actually pretty cool. Doesn't Google have access to your emails if you change your password and keep all your files? I would wager that they do. Can I customize? Let's see. Can I customize Windows to look like Linux? No, but you might be able to make Fedora look like Windows XP. You'd want to install either, XFCE, Mate, Cinnamon, one of those ones that you can highly customize a typical build. Actually, Zorin, I think, is a GNOME build, so I don't know. So then, wouldn't Nextcloud have access? Wait, what are you asking? Doesn't Google have access to your emails? The difference is, Google do they store the files encrypted, and who has access to the encryption keys? That's what the final question is. The thing with Nextcloud is I'm not storing any of this on Nextcloud server. I'm storing this on my own web server that I control, and that's what my difference is. As far as this system communicating back to Nextcloud, what I'm doing, to my knowledge, it doesn't do that. If it did do that, we'd have to question if we're going to use it or not. But I'd still rather use this platform than Google at this point with what I have. When did I have the problem with... I have not had any problem with Proton Mail, personally. I'm going to go play Rust, catch up later. All right, thanks for stopping by, Political Monkey. All right, I think actually that's actually a good stopping point for me as well. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. And I have a outdoor philosophy tomorrow, and then we're going to be back on to some other stuff here next week. How old is the kitty? The kitty that is over here is 7 years old, I believe. So he is a 7-year-old kitty cat. All right, kitty. The live stream's over. You know what that means, don't you? Yeah. That's what that means. Yeah. Temptations. And one more, kitty. Oh, are they finger looking good? They are finger looking good. Kitty has gotten his pay. All right, guys, we will catch you later. Have yourself a rest of the wonderful evening.